human nature to avoid rejection. And many people have gotten out of sales, and yet others avoid placing calls because of rejection. Well, I'm going to show you how to never experience sales rejection again. Stay tuned. Have you ever been rejected before on a sales call? When I ask that question at my client training workshops, everyone's hand goes up in the air. Then my next question is, how do you know? The typical answers are, I got a no. They said they weren't interested. They told me not to call anymore. Or it's their tone. Yeah, their dial tone. They hang up on you. If you've spoken to more than 10 prospects in your entire sales life, you've most certainly had some or all of those things happen to you. It's inevitable. It's as much a part of sales as shooting and missing is a part of basketball. As much as having an experiment not work in a chemical lab, as having the numbers not always add up for an accountant. Those are all descriptions of something that didn't work, something that happens. So here's my question. Is rejection what happens to you or the way you define what happens to you? It's always the way you define it. Isn't it ridiculous? Well, yeah, and it's devastating to call what happens on sales calls rejection. Let's take it to an extreme. What if after hearing no's, you repeatedly said to yourself, oh, I'm worthless. I'm a horrible person. I suck. You'd probably start believing it after a while, wouldn't you? We buy into our own self-talk. So stop the negativity. Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I've changed that to, no one can reject you without your consent. All right, here are some specific things that you can and should do to never experience rejection again. Number one, accept that you won't have a 100% success rate. What? Do you expect to get a yes on every call? It's absurd, right? You're in sales. But wait. Every time you don't, you're going to beat yourself up by saying you got rejected? That's insanity and a sure way to hate your job. Major League Baseball players don't get hits most of the time, yet even the worst ones still make millions. Likewise, you don't need to hit your primary objective every time to be a superstar, do you? Number two, quit calling what happens to you on sales calls rejection. Instead, try something you can control or at least have hope for. For example, well, what I said just didn't work this time. Or, well, obviously the timing wasn't right for him. Or, it wasn't a fit for him. Oh, and then you need to follow that with the next point, number three. After every call where you didn't accomplish your primary objective, ask yourself this very important learning question. What could I have done differently? Oh yeah, you can get something positive out of every situation and all of the no's. And by the way, if something's not working, let's fix it. Number four, let's get a win on every call. Yeah, you might not get the sale, the appointment, or even a follow-up on every call, but you can get something on every call that is not dependent on them. For example, you could ask who they're buying from now, how often they evaluate vendors. You could ask to keep the door open for a future contact. Notice you're just asking here. Now you might be thinking, well, that's easy. You could do that all the time. Precisely. It's a lot better than saying, oh, I got rejected again. And finally, number five, here's something that will pay off for you long term. Plant a seed, because some of them will grow and turn into a harvest for you. When it's obvious that you won't accomplish your main objective, leave them something to think about. For example, well, Pat, if you find that your supplier's ever not able to deliver a part that you need the next day, keep in mind that our local warehouse would have it at your doorstep in the morning. So if you get in that situation, well, I'm going to send you out my contact information in case you ever get in that bind. Hey, you've had prospects that you long have written off saying, oh, they'll never do business with us, but then they called you out of the blue. and they said, hey, things have changed and they want to talk to you. Well, this is a way to proactively make that happen more often. And you could do it on every call. Just think about the pure numbers here. That's not being rejected, is it? All right, to summarize, rejection is not what happens. It's an erroneous definition of what happens is what it is. Oh, you don't need a 100% success rate to be wildly successful yourself. Change your post-call self-talk to something constructive, such as, that approach just didn't work this time, or the timing just wasn't right. And then also ask yourself, what could I have done differently on this call? And get a win on every call and plant seeds. Be prepared with what you can be sure to at least attempt every time you call, and then how you can leave them with something to think about should their situation ever change. Follow these tips and you'll never experience rejection again on your sales calls. All right, if you like these tips, make sure that you like this video. Also, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're not there already, go to theartofsales.com page and be sure to sign up so that you're notified when we come out with new videos. Oh, and I have an ebook of 501 sales tips for you. Is rejection what happens to you or the way that you define, right? Is rejection what happens to you or the way what happened? Basketball players are going to shoot and miss. Most baseball players are not going to be successful most of the time. I got my sports analogy screwed up here. Even the worst baseball players are going to. I'll tell you what rejection is. It's not remembering what you're going to say.